Super Punch Out for the Super Nintendo. Now, I know I have made a re-experience on this game already, so I'm not trying to make another one, but I wanted to make a my experience on this because I feel like this is fucking insane. I can't believe the title of this stream right now. Because keep this in mind, right? I want to go in depth with this and just talk about this for a long time. All right. I'm back. So, I want to explain why I'm starting to feel this way, or even how I'm starting to feel this way about Punch Out. So, let's talk about it because I feel like it's important. We need to discuss this into the closet. I missed the closet door. But, I want to discuss this with y'all. Hopefully, we can rearrange some stuff, get the audio going. So, why am I enjoying Super Punch Out far more than, excuse me, got all this fucking junk over here. Why am I enjoying Super Punch Out far more than I am Mike Tyson's Punch Out or Punch Out for the NES? So, I think there are multiple reasons why I'm starting to enjoy that game way more. All right, so whenever I played, Punch Out in the beginning, like it started with Mike Tyson's Punch Out. I started with Mike Tyson's Punch Out and stuff. I loved the game for its, bob and weave, counter punching gameplay, right? And as the years went along, I played Mike Tyson's Punch Out, Super Punch Out, Punch Out Wii, the arcade Punch Outs and stuff. And I didn't think Super Punch Out was worth anything. By the way, I'm talking about the Super Nintendo version here, not the arcade Super Punch Out. I'm not talking about that version of Super Punch Out. I'm talking about the Super Nintendo version of Punch Out, right? I always thought of this version of Punch Out was going to be my least liked, my least favorite Punch Out in the entire series. I just believed that. I sat there and I was like, you know what? I know it was, right, at the time. I loved Mike Tyson's Punch Out way more because I just loved its music more. I loved the way Little Mac fought and playing Little Mac and stuff. Even though that Nintendo says, Super Punch Out dude is Little Mac. I'm just like, I don't know if that's Little Mac, that's a different Mac. That's a mac and cheese man or something. I don't know. But for Super Punch Out, right? But anyways, I know this is messy. It's gonna be messy. It's gonna be a messy my experience video trying to explain this, right? So what happened, for me to genuinely come up here and sit here? I cannot read that. I am so sorry. Can you give me... Oh, I actually can read that. Can you give me a shout-out? Shout-outs to Liam. I had no idea. By the way, Lord Dracon, welcome to the stream. How you doing, my boy? And thank you for being a member for 7 months. So, I love the OG Punch-Out gameplay. OG as in Mike Tyson's Punch-Out gameplay so much more. And Punch-Out Wii kind of solidified that, okay, I kind of like this style of Punch-Out more than Super Punch-Out. But ever since, I started to really kind of lose myself, lose a lot of my, not luster, but my muster to play Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. Because whenever you play Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, and I played over 20 hours of this, or 20 hours of it on Nintendo Switch Online alone, and and definitely multiple hours on emulator. But I don't know what happened. I feel like, and I don't know. Don't get me wrong. It's weird that I'm saying this now because I'm trying to comprehend why I even feel this way, but at the same time, it's still unreal to me because I realized this last night. when playing both games side by side, not simultaneously, but side by side. I played Super Punch Out and then I played regular Punch Out NES, and it just kind of turned my whole life around, right? But I digress. Anyways, my bad. So, Mike Tyson's Punch Out, you're all about counter punching your opponents, waiting for it, seeing what they do, reacting to it, and punishing them for it, right? And I know Super Punch Out's also all about that shit too, of course. But I don't know, something about Super Punch Out really grappled me. Because and I know I did this with the NES game, like Super Punch Up or not Super Punch Up, Punch Up for the NES, where I, kept doing speed runs of the game or just runs of the game over and over again to kind of practice to keep my skills in check. And I noticed something really, really big after, like, I was losing more of my muster for Punch Out NES, right? I thought my Punch Out skills were going out the window. I thought I was nowhere near as good anymore. I like the reactionary gameplay a little bit less and less. A part of me just thought I was no good at Punch Out anymore, and I was gonna quit, playing like Mike Tyson's Punch Out entirely and all that other sort of stuff. And thank you for subscribing, Liam. And no, I do not play Fortnite. I have made my experience video on Fortnite if you want to check that out, but I don't play Fortnite that much anymore, or not that much anymore. I haven't played Fortnite in like years, so there you go. Though I'm always hearing it like every other week because they got something new going on, but I digress. But I remember when I started becoming trash at Mike Tyson's Punch Out, I just decided to just be done with that game. And for some reason, after being done with Mike Tyson, like the original Mike Tyson's Punch Out / Mike Tyson, or not, or fuck, ever since I was done with Mike Tyson's Punch Out, and I just moved on. I haven't played Punch Out all that much. I don't have the Wii one anymore, so I'm not really like sticking around for that gameplay. I'm playing more of the arcade games than I am the Mike Tyson's Punch Out NES, or Punch Out Wii, like style Punch Outs and stuff. And I started to just really get attached to Super Punch Out. Because ever since I broke Punch Out Wii, and ever since I stopped playing Mike Tyson's Punch Out, I kind of, in my mouth. I kind of like transferred all my time and energy whenever I think of Punch Out to Super Punch Out, right? And I've learned. I think this is a big reason why I love Super Punch Out more. I finally learned how to have fun with this game. Because before I would always need like an emulator to play Super Punch Out and enjoy my time. I would always need save states. I would always need rewind. And I couldn't enjoy this game to the fullest. Right? And what I mean by the fullest, as in like going like from minor circuit to world circuit. I don't really consider special circuit worth a damn, when playing Super Punch Out for the Super Nintendo. I really don't. For some reason, I really don't. And I'll explain why. But I feel like when playing Mike Tyson's Punch Out, I feel like I've played it so many times, going through the same things over and over again, trying to get the Glass Joe in 42, trying to get Von Kaiser down in less than a minute, trying to get, Piston Hondo, the instant knockdown his rematch, and then just beating him up extremely quickly in his original game. I don't know. Something about it is not satisfying me, or is not clicking as much as Super Punch Out does, because even in gameplay, something's just not clicking with me anymore. Like, for example, like after I played Super Punch Out, like having the time of my life, because ever since I learned Super Punch Out how to go from minor circuit to world circuit without save states, without rewind, without nothing, being able to beat Super Macho Man in not Mike Tyson's Punch Out, Super Punch Out, it was memorizing. It was exhilarating. Learning how to fight Mad Clown properly. Learning how to fight Aaron Ryan properly. Learning how to fight Heiki Kagero properly. Learning how to defeat these guys felt so good to me that, like, every single time I whip up Super Punch Out, I can start a new file. and beat minor to world circuit so easily now. It's not even funny. I've tested this last night. I did it 2 times in a row. 2, 3, 4, 5 times in a row. Started a new file. I just wanted to play Punch Out, so I had to go over to Super Punch Out instead of Mike Tyson's Punch Out. Whenever I play Mike Tyson's Punch Out, guess where I'm stuck at? Mr. Sandman all the fucking time. Every single run I've ever done of, regular Punch Out for the NES or not Super Punch Out. God damn it, I keep saying that. Punch Out or Mike Tyson's Punch Out, because they're both essentially the same game, or Punch Out Gold if you want to really go there. I would always get stuck at Mr. Sandman. And it feels like whenever I play Mike Tyson's Punch Out, it is the same song and dance over and over and over again whenever I play that game. Also, don't get me wrong, the punch sounds are funny, but I don't know, dude. Something about the punch that's going, ew, 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 is nowhere near as impactful as that, actual punch sound effects, right? I feel like that's another thing that I'm enjoying about Super Punch Out more than Mike Tyson's Punch Out. And don't get me wrong, Mike Tyson's Punch Out is a phenomenal Punch Out game. Its reactionary stuff is amazing. I love its gameplay. But since I feel like I've done it so many fucking times, I feel like Super Punch Out as a video game is fresher in my mind and fresher for me to deal with. Not only I finally learned how to enjoy the game without save states, mind you, past world circuit, and I can go on to special circuit and move on to star circuit, at least get in there and maybe fight Narcissus Prince and shit and have a good time, in comparison to NES Punch Out, where I'm having a good time, but it's just I'm having a good time until I get to Mr. Sandman. Then the run is just fucking over because I can't handle the stress in my body whenever I go against that shit. And yes, it was the same for Super Punch Out for the Super Nintendo whenever I was deciding to play the damn game. But just something sparked in me once I figured something out in Super Punch Out, which is why I'm sitting here shocked as hell that, after playing both games side by side, Super Punch Out right over here, last night, I was gonna scream last night so fucking loud that I'm in, because these Super Punch Out runs are fucking amazing. I'm clearing minor circuit, major circuit, world circuit, without it being so much of a fuss. I remember when playing Super Punch Out for the Super Nintendo, and I would not make it past Aaron Ryan. I wouldn't make it past Aaron Ryan, and then I would be raging on Heikki Kagero because I didn't understand his hair whip technique. Now that I understand, you need to go left, down, his entire fight, and the little Mirage shit that he has, kind of what is he, fucking fake-ass Great Tiger with that shit? But you get my point. He has, this Mirage dance technique, and, being able to beat his ass. Aaron Ryan with that little hand movement where you gotta hit him in time, hit him in that frame so you can, get him knocked the fuck down. Dude, I literally whooped Aaron Ryan in 37 seconds the other night. 37-77 last night. I literally did Bear Hugger last night in 35 seconds. I'm literally having more fun beating these guys up quicker. And by the way, I noticed, right, that super meter is fucking awesome, man. I never thought, and I know in my re-experience I said I enjoy the super meter, but I didn't think I would be enjoying the super meter more than the star punching meter, bro. I won't lie to you, it is so satisfying when fighting in Super Punch Out against your opponent, Mad Clown, or whoever you're going up against. Yo, Arekkusu, you did not have to donate me $3, bruh. You did not have to donate me $3 or 66 cents. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. No more Heroes that Speak. I need to really get on that game. I need to play it. I need to play it either for the channel or I just need to finally play it, make a review about it. There needs to be something, right? But anyways, I didn't think I would enjoy that meter because I'm sitting there, right? And keep in mind, I'm used to star punches where basically star punches, you earn them and then you can save up to 3 in the NES game, or in the Wii version you can store up to 3 only, and you get a super badass punch that does crazy damage, right? That's amazing and all, but dude, it is so much less satisfying than building up that super punch meter and being able to do multiple different special moves. More moves, bro. Hey, yo. Hey, yo, Arekkusu, bro. Bro. Thank you for another 66 cents, my guy. Thank you for that $1.31 for this entire stream. Yo, shout outs to my man Arekkusu right here, man. He's being a fucking G right now. But anyways, right? You're being a fucking G right now. You need to chill. I'm going to have to ask you to chill. This is the Allen police. I'm going to have to ask you to chill the fuck out. You're going to have to chill the fuck out. Don't make me go crazy over here. But anyways, as I was saying, right? Being able to super gut punch your fucking opponents. Being able to fucking sit there and charge up your punch and rapid face punch them. Or rapid body blow your fucking people. Or hold it. Like, do a super, hold it, do a super fucking face punch. Man, dude, I'm telling you, when I sit there and charge my super as a super macho man after learning his fucking patterns and being able to do those super punches and building up that meter, and I know that meter is kind of just like star punches. It goes down if you get hit, but if you don't get hit, you learn these guys' patterns and you fucking dodge their shit, punish like doing baby punches, then a super gut punch or a super face punch. It feels so much better than the star punch. Because, in Super Punch-Out, you can easily get that shit back a little bit quicker, depending on if you know the pattern or not. And if you don't know the pattern, then it might be a little bit of a harder fight. But to me, it just feels so much better having more super punches and more abilities at your disposal when fighting these guys than just, okay, wait a minute, and NES Punch-Out, wait, hold on, give me a second, ball's coming after me, weave, and they make sure you hit him at the perfect timing to get a star punch, and then do the same star punch animation over and over again in Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. Now, Punch-Out Wii, it is a little different because the star punch is different in that game. For example, whenever you use a star punch, you only use one star punch out of 3, right? Every single time. But at least in Wii, I remember they made the star punch better because if you have one star punch, it's gonna do way more damage than normal. It's gonna do more damage than normal punch, but not so much more. I mean, it's gonna do a little bit more, depending on if you're doing title defense or normal, minor circuit or whatever the fuck, right? It's gonna do a heck of damage. But when you get 2-star punch, it's going to do even more damage than just having 1 star and then star punching. But if you have 3 stars and then you star punch and punch out Wii, you're going to fucking make that enemy fly past HP once you land it. And it is satisfying in that game. But we're not talking about Super Punch-Out being better than Punch-Out Wii. We're only talking about Super Punch-Out, in my opinion, feeling better playing nowadays for me than Mike Tyson's Punch-Out / NES Punch-Out. Dude, I can go over on Super Punch-Out and beat Mr. Sandman on that game in comparison to over here on fucking Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, where I'm still struggling with that fucking man. And let's say I pass him, fuck it, Super Macho Man might kill me next, so it doesn't even fucking matter, right? So it's whenever I see that comparison, I'd rather go do something that's infinitely easier for me to do than something that is just going to keep me there for fucking hours on end. I get a game over. I have to go all the way back. And it's that is annoying. Sheriff, welcome to stream, by the way. And I'm telling you, it is annoying. Every time it's fucking annoying. That I have to deal with that whenever I go to NES Punch-Out. And when I compared them last night, when I played Super Punch-Out 2 times in a row, because I was just having so much fun going all the way up to World Circuit. And I'm not going to lie to you guys, I still do not have fun with Special Circuit and everyone in Special Circuit. Don't get me wrong, Narcissus Prince, whatever. I just do not care about that point of the game. I really don't care. If you took that shit out, if you gave me a version of Super Punch-Out where Super Macho Man is the final boss, I would have been satisfied 10 times over, because that's the Punch-Out game I could beat other than Punch-Out Wii, without emulators or save states or whatever. But it's dude, when I'm able, again, when I am seriously able to go to World Circuit in Super Punch-Out and have more of a fun time over there. Can you do what I said, please? I will be very happy. Yeah, I'll see what I can do. I'll see what I can do because they're always like $9, $10 over there on the Switch store. Should I get the Switch ones or the Wii ones? Like that is a good question. Should I do the Wii ones or should I do the? Because I do need to play the first one before I want to buy all the other ones. You know what I mean? I don't want to like just buy all of them and to be like, okay, I don't like the series or something or whatever. But should I buy the Wii ones or the Switch ones? Because the Switch ones are easily more accessible than the Wii copies. But anyways, I digress, right? But man, and I can't believe I'm saying this because keep in mind, the entire time I have been a Punch Out fan, I liked Super Punch Out way more than I thought after my re-experience. But like I still like would say this is probably my least liked Punch Out, other than maybe the arcade games going below that. In terms of Punch Out games and stuff. And it's just insanity to me that I am sitting here in 2025 actually thinking this game is so much better than Mike Tyson's Punch Out. I could sit there again and again. I'm going to keep saying this the entire video. I could play Super Punch Out better than I ever could before. And I know when I was playing Mike Tyson's Punch Out, I was slowly learning everybody's patterns too. But to me, it feels so much more rewarding and less limiting being stuck on Mr. fucking Sandman in one game to being able to go beyond Mr. Sandman and defeat people even worse than him in later circuits is a massive improvement for me. And it makes me happy because I used to think Super Macho Man for the Super Nintendo version is the heart of Super Macho Man. It's fucking Wii by a quarter mile, but after dealing with, Macho Man and Wii, for me, Super Macho Man and Wii, Super Punch Out was harder because I didn't understand, like, the exercises that he has. The exercise moves, like, exercise A, exercise B, and exercise C. I didn't understand that. But now after I understood all that, I feel like he's infinitely easier than Punch Out Wii's version of Super Macho Man with the wipeout, move, and then the faster timings for the macho spin and whatever. But it's like, fuck. And I know people might be thinking, like Mike Tyson Punch Out fans might be thinking, you're just glazing Super Punch Out this whole video. I mean, what else? What are the other reasons why you like the game other than that super beater? The fucking music, I'm not gonna say the characters are better. I'm not gonna go there, but I really love the sound of my punches hitting my foe. I really love how I'm in control of the fight. I know what I'm doing the entire fight whenever I fight these guys. Like, I know what I'm doing. And sure, I know what I'm doing as well in Mike Tyson's Punch Out / Punch Out NES, but I only know what I'm doing for a certain period of time. And since that game is way more reactionary than this one, I mean, don't get me wrong, Super Punch Out is still a reactionary game. You still gotta dodge punches. But, dude, I can go in there, weave, ping, get that meter charged, and fucking gut punch my way to victory. And it's so satisfying doing that. Instead of always having to wait around in Mike Tyson's Punch Out for them to counter, and then me being able to get a star punch in, they get backed out to being stunned. Being able to throw another jab and me possibly losing my fucking entire star punch because I fucking flinched. I sat there and I was like, dude, what the fuck? Arekkusu, I will do what you're going to say, but it's like, I don't know which version to play. Does it matter? Does it matter if I'm playing Wii or does it matter if I'm playing, the Wii ones or the Switch ones? Because I think I might just grab the first No More Heroes and that's it. I'll just grab that one and see if I like that one. Because depending on the game, because you got to keep in mind, I don't really like open world games all that much. So if this has like a crazy open world, like over 30 chapters, I'm probably going to lose interest in it. Maybe. I'm not sure. But I digress, right? Oh, God. And it's just so satisfying. So satisfying. Dude, I love hearing the punch noises in this game in comparison to Mike Tyson's Punch Out, where they're just little bleep bloops. And I know, I'm comparing an NES game to a Super Nintendo game. It's kind of unfair to compare that, but it's like, I don't know. something about Super Punch-Out in this moment when I'm making this video satisfies me more than Mike Tyson's Punch-Out is. I mean, last night, I didn't even think I was going to be able to beat, like, Bald Bull 2. Like, and notice how Super Punch-Out does not do any sort of rematches of any kind other than you can go with Nick and Rick Bruiser or, dude, on my stomach. I'm losing my voice with how much I'm talking about this game right here. Because this game right here is just, it's so good. Now, I'm not expecting everybody to understand my turnaround or my new perspective. And I'm not expecting you to. If you enjoy Mike Tyson's Punch-Out way more than Super Punch-Out, that's fine. Maybe you're way more used to the reactionary gameplay, or maybe my eyes need to get checked, or maybe my reactions need to get checked. But you can't tell me that Super Meter isn't so much fun to use, abuse, and learn how to understand the timings of using that Super Punch. It's so fucking good. I think it actually is better than the Super Punch-Out meter. And I'm even going to say this, or the Star Punching meter. If we get another Punch-Out game, and it is similar to Super Punch-Out, I actually will not mind now. If Punch-Out decides to come back in 2025, they make a brand new game for it, I literally don't care. If it's more like the arcades, like Super Punch-Out for the Super Nintendo, which, by the way, keep this in mind, when people say the original Punch-Out gameplay, they always refer to Mike Tyson's Punch-Out being the original Punch-Out gameplay. But if you realize Super Punch-Out for the Super Nintendo is actually way more in line with how Punch-Out originally was back in the day in comparison to Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, wouldn't Super Punch-Out technically be the original gameplay of Punch-Out? And Punch-Out Wii and Mike Tyson's Punch-Out are like the newer gameplay style of said Punch-Out series. So technically, a lot of people do not like the original style of Punch-Out more than the Mike Tyson style Punch-Out, more than the Punch-Out NES style of Punch-Out. If you want to think about it like that. I just realized that as I was filming this bit, as I'm streaming this bit. It's fucking ludicrous to me, dude. That's like I'm genuinely like, that's ludicrous for me to think about. Like, that's just ludicrous. And I just wanted to talk about this because it's been on my mind ever since last night that I actually enjoy Super Punch-Out a lot more than Mike Tyson's Punch-Out right now. And I think another factor could also be like the fact that I am replaying it. I replayed Mike Tyson's Punch-Out or Punch-Out NES a little bit too much over the many months that I was on, doing the runs and all that other sort of stuff. And maybe that's why my love for it is nowhere near as strong as Super Punch-Out. And I looked at the hours I spent in Super Punch-Out. I spent a total of 14 hours on Super Punch-Out for the Super Nintendo, and then 4 more hours on the special version. So if we want to combine 14, that's like 18 hours. Near the amount of hours, if we're combining both games anyway. Combining both versions, like the regular Super Punch-Out and special Super Punch-Out, because I'm playing this on Nintendo Switch Online. If we're just leaving it at those games, right, then it's night and day. How many hours I put into one game over the other. I mean, obviously I played Mike Tyson's Punch-Out or Punch-Out NES first, and obviously I spent a long time fighting Mr. Dream, so. But, I don't know. I think I'm just enjoying Punch-Out, Super Punch-Out more than Mike Tyson's Punch-Out or Punch-Out NES. And don't get it twisted. The final boss for Super Punch-Out is still lamer than Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, but I think Nick and Rick Bruiser are more of a better / more unique idea than Mr. Dream from NES Punch-Out, if I had to really go there. But I'm not really, that's not really included in why my thoughts, why I say it's better. I don't know, my reactions are better over there, on Super Punch Out. I'm not getting as punished for being able to quick dodge a lot of shit. It feels like it's the right pace for me whenever I think this is another reason too, actually, before I close out. I think it's also because of how I'm pacing myself when playing the games, right? The pacing feels good. The speed of the game feels good. I got this Clark Kent little hair thing, like fucking flying down there the whole video. I got this. Oh, my stomach hurts so bad. I got this. I don't know. I feel like the speed of the game is so much better because I don't know. I'm not saying Mike Tyson's Punch Out. It feels so fast I can't react to it anymore. But it's because I'm doing the same song and dance all the time. It's just that's what happens in my mind. If I feel like I'm doing something over and over again and there's no point in doing it, I'm not gonna enjoy it. But with Super Punch Out, I don't feel that way. I feel like a fucking champion. I feel like a world class boxer. I feel like no one can touch me whenever I play Super Punch Out. And also, the reason, let me explain this before I actually close out as well. The reason I do not enjoy Special Circuit is because Special Circuit brings no love for me whatsoever. I really do not care about Special Circuit. I don't care about fighting Narcissus Prince, Hoy Carlo, Nick, and Rick Bruiser. I do not care about fighting them as fighters. They kind of like ruin the game for me in a way, but like I said, I do my best not to pay attention to minor or Special Circuit because I can't really learn and adapt to anybody in Special Circuit all that much. I think that's one of the reasons why I just never played is because I can adapt to probably Narcissus Prince, but everyone else after that point is I don't want to bother learning. I really do not want to bother learning. And if I'm saying that about Super Punch Out, that means something. At least with Mike Tyson's Punch Out, I wasn't other than Mr. Sandman constantly being in my way, but after Mr. Sandman, it's like Super Macho Man, then Mike Tyson / Mr. Dream. And Mr. Dream, we all know how Mr. Dream / Mike Tyson goes. No one's beating him unless you're really goated or something, you know what I mean? Or really use the controls or whatever. If pros of the game are still struggling with Mike Tyson, then it's fucking, it's raps, you know what I mean? But anyways, I digress. Guys, let me know how you guys feel down below. And go play Super Punch Out and Mike Tyson's Punch Out for yourselves. They're great games. They're great Punch Out games. Some of my favorite games of all time. Now, especially, I see more of why Super Punch Out fans are dedicated to their game, especially now because, dude, we get all these crazy new moves for a character. You guys only have the Star Punch and that one super move that does a set amount of damage every time whenever you land it, We can mix up our combat a little bit more and make the enemies go down in completely different ways instead of just 2 or 3 or 4 ways. We can do 5, 6, 7, 8 ways at least to knock out our foes and shit. And again, this isn't just this. I know that may have sounded like me dissing Mike Tyson's Punch Out, it was never good to begin with. Motherfuckers, I lived and breathed that game for 20 hours. Just on Nintendo Switch Online. Motherfuckers, I've played more Mike Tyson Punch Out ROM hacks than I've ever played anything Super Punch Out in my entire life. I love Mike Tyson's Punch Out, but for me, it's starting to get a little old, and I need to move on to something new, something more fresh, something that is gonna give me tons of new memories going down the line. And who knows, maybe one day I will talk about the Special Circuit, in my, one day if I decide to learn them in the Special Circuit and go hey, I finally learned these guys, let me talk about my experience learning them and why it's a pain in the ass and why I hate it or why I love it or something. I'll talk about that in a different My Experience video. But for today, I just wanted to mention this so I can spread the word out there that I am becoming more and more of a Super Punch Out enjoyer each passing day whenever I keep replaying because it is just so fun to replay. And it's so easy to replay too. For example, I think another reason, right, is I can go through minor to world circuit and beat it so much faster than I could in NES. And I realized this whenever I played those games back to back. I think that's why I was getting so bored of Mike Tyson's Punch Out, because every time I played Mike Tyson's Punch Out, it would take me like 30, 40 minutes to reach World Circuit, right? Meanwhile, in Punch Up for the Super Nintendo Punch Up for the Super Punch Up for the Super Nintendo, I would get there in 5, 10, 15 minutes. Not even 30 to 40 minutes, like NES. That's probably another reason why I'm enjoying it. It's because it's so much quicker for me to reach my goals over there in comparison to on Mike Tyson. Then, who knows? People might say it's a skill issue. That's why you're enjoying Super Punch Out, because it's easier for people to get into. It's easier for people to play in the beginning or whatever. For most of the game, it feels like that. But you guys get my point, right? I mean, I already set my point home, and I'm not trying to, like, you know, make this dragged out or anything. But anyways, guys, like, comment, subscribe, favorite, share the video with your friends. God bless you all. Hope you guys all have a great day. Oh my God, my stomach just... I don't know what's up with me whenever I talk sometimes, and it gets harder and harder for me to fucking breathe sometimes, because I don't do through my fucking nose or something whenever I say something or I pause or whatever. But I digress. I'll see you guys next time. I'm probably going to go stream like Super Luigi RPG, to be real, or Super Luigi RPG Star Powered, because I'm enjoying that game a lot. And I probably should do more of that. Anyways, I'll see you guys later. Peace. Oh. Punch Out. Keep it clean, y'all. Clean fighting only, bro. No bad fighting. No dirty fighting like Aaron Ryan bitch ass would in Punch Out Wii. And by the way, if you're wondering like my rankings for Punch Out games, it's probably the arcade games are dead last, right? Because don't get me wrong, they're okay, but they're not like Super Punch Out, My Time's Punch Out, or Punch Out Wii, right? So for NES Punch Out, I'm probably gonna put it obviously way in front of those games. Like the arcade games would probably be C tier, okay? The arcade style Punch Outs would be C tier, C or low B. Mike Tyson's Punch Out is going to be like obviously A or S tier. Super Punch Out is right next to it, if not a little it's going to be in front of it, but it's still like in the same tier as Mike Tyson's Punch Out. And then Punch Out Wii is just sitting in S, because that game is just beyond fucking peaking. It's beyond peaking. Like, if we get a game that's Super Punch-Out style that has the Wii graphics, holy fuck, that's about to blow up my mind. Anyways, I digress. I remember you snapping Punch-Out Wii due to Nintendo keeping the franchise dead. I snapped it because of, I guess that's a reason, but I also snapped it because I was getting tired of the gameplay and tired of title defense entirely, to be honest with you. That was another reason why I wasn't enjoying the game nowhere near as much as I once was anymore, and it was just really pissing me off. I'd probably say if anyways, I'm stretching this video. See you later. I'll be over there at Super Luigi Star Powered. We'll stream that here in a sec after I'm done with the thumbnail.